Imagine you're 16 and your mom and dad just handed you the keys to your brand new car. In that moment, you feel like Superman, right? You're unstoppable and you can do anything. Now you have the freedom to go where you want and to go at your leisure. However, this is far from the case. I hate to break it to you, but you're not Superman. We're all bound by the limits of our body, and this is not just limited to our physical attributes like being able to walk or lift weights. This also applies to the limits of our minds. Despite all the things our brains can do, our brains also have limitations of their own. And the scary part is, sometimes we don't even recognize those limits. Hi, my name is Christian Brandon, and today I want to talk with you about distracted driving, such as texting and driving, and how it impacts you cognitively, as well as what you can do to overcome it. How many times do you think you multitask every day? Once, twice, 3 times, 20 times, 30 times? While many of us believe that we're effective multitaskers, the case is usually we're not. In one study where participants were required to work on Sudoku puzzles and crosswords, subjects who attempted to do the puzzles at the same time ended up completing less of each puzzle than those who were completing the puzzles in sequence or one after another. While there are people out there who can effectively multitask called supertaskers, this only accounts for about 2% of the population. Most of us just can't effectively multitask. This is due to something called capacity theory, which in short states that our attention on objects is finite, meaning that once our attention is on some task or object, the brain reserves a certain amount of our attention to that task, and once 100% of our cognitive capacity is filled, the brain struggles to focus its attention on other stimuli. For example, brushing your teeth does not require a great amount of attention, so it may only consume a small portion of your brain's attentive capacity. However, tasks like driving, which involve a great deal of attention, may even max out your brain's attentive capacity. So if capacity theory is correct, there may just simply not be enough cognitive capacity to focus on more than one task, especially if that task is cognitively demanding. So when you're in your car and you decide to text and drive, you're limiting your brain's ability to focus on driving and making some of that capacity focus on that winky face emoji that you have to send to your best friend. Now tell me, is that text really worth the life of yourself and others? One study found that using your cell phone while driving increases your risk for having a crash by 4 times, and another found that drivers spend 400% more time with their eyes off the road when they're texting and driving. Think about this. If you send a text that takes you 4 seconds to type and you're going 60 miles an hour, you are traveling 352 feet in that time. That is over the length of a football field, and your eyes would be off the road the entire time. In that time, you could have drifted into another lane, you could have not noticed another person in front of you that was braking, or you could have not seen an obstruction in the road. In one study that followed 100 drivers monitoring their driving habits while they were in the car, over the course of 2 million miles, 66 of the crashes and 771 of the near crashes, which accounts for about 80% of the crashes and 67% of the near crashes, were the result of the driver being inattentive for only 3 seconds before the crash. That's right, 3 seconds can even be dangerous. However, regardless of these terrifying statistics, 70% of young adult drivers admitted to initiating a text while driving, 81% responded to text while driving, and 92% admitted to reading text while driving. This means that most likely, you or your friends have done this yourselves. According to a National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration survey, in 2009, at any given time in the US, there are an estimated 1% or 135,300 drivers observed manipulating a handheld device, such as talking or texting on the cell phone. And in 2011, distraction was a contributing factor in about 10% of all driver fatalities and 17% of all injuries in the US. Texting and driving is rapidly becoming one of the major causes of driver fatalities in the US, right behind drunk driving. So could saving all of these lives just be as simple as not using our phones while driving? Consider the following before the next time you drive. Get into the habit of thinking about making important phone calls or texts before you get into the car. Second, if you're with a friend, have them be your designated texter. Let them read and respond to your text so you don't have to. Or just plain and simple, turn it off, put it in silent mode, or put it somewhere out of reach. And if there is an emergency, stay safe, pull over, and respond. Also remember, Even though a great deal of what we have discussed concerns using your phone in driving, many of these statistics also apply to other types of distracted driving too. Eating and driving, for example, or adjusting the radio, or reaching for objects in the car, or even being sleep deprived, all significantly increase your chance of a crash as well. So stay safe, focus on the road, and please like, share, and comment on this video if you